Hi everybody, welcome to the Music DCS channel. I'm your host, and this is my guitar diary. So, after declaring that this diary thing would even be a thing, I immediately knew that I wanted to record every single practice session that I had within a 2-week period so that you could see the progress, the journey from mediocre to, oh my god, this man is amazing. Okay, maybe I should tune first. But then I realized that filming every single practice session that I had for a whole 2-week period would make for a really long video that would be really boring. So we're gonna do the next best thing, which is use the power of snippets. But anyway, let's review the goal vomit from the previous diary entry. And yeah, let's get down to business. So we've got 5 goals right now. Number 1, I want to be a better guitar player, whatever that means. Number 2, I want to be a better singer, whatever that means. Number 3, I want to be a better songwriter. Number 4, which is a more specific one, I want to complete the tracking process for my band's album by the end of this year. And number 5, a smaller goal, but still a goal, I want to learn this lick, this pentatonic lick that I kind of came across that, bothered me because I couldn't get it. Now, I want to show you the current practicing routine that I have in my little notebook right here that I've been using to kind of attack these goals. So this current practice routine is kind of a placeholder because there's still a lot of refining left to do for these goals. And I didn't really want to just wait around until I had the perfect plan. So I figured I'd just, maintain dexterity, build some strength with my fingers and whatnot, keep things afloat as I further refine the vomit. My current vocal routine involves consistently doing these exercises that I got from this online singing course. We'll call it, 31-day singing. So the exercises I use are a mix of trills, vowels, hey there's, hey there, hey there, hey there, hey there, hey there, and other variations, in kind of a rotation. I chose to do 20 minutes of those exercises as kind of a vocal warm-up, and recently added an additional 20 minutes for vocal repertoire, because I had to apply the exercises to something. So I chose this song, Return to Earth by The Contortionists. Return to the earth. I chose that song for a couple of reasons. One, because it's in my vocal range, which is pretty limited at the moment. 2, it's one of my band influences. It influences my guitar playing, and it makes me think, I wouldn't mind making stuff like that. And 3, I'm already familiar with the material since I actually posted a cover song on a personal channel that I'm sure none of you have ever seen before. But just because I'm already familiar with the material doesn't mean that I can't use it again to help me get better, or, that I've perfected it in any kind of way. So, we're going again. So pretty soon, I'll be putting up a cover with my current vocal skill set of me just singing that song again. And then, maybe a month later, maybe 2 months later, I'll post another cover and see if there's been any progress, Because I want you to see all the foils and fumbles and all the rises to power and all that good stuff. So I'm in this practice space 3 times a week. So if I'm practicing vocals for 40 minutes, 3 times a week, that's 120 minutes for a total of 2 hours every week. So that's my vocal schedule. And I know this is called the Guitar Goal Diaries, and I think it's just, hilariously dumb that I started off with the vocal goals. But So like I said earlier, I'm still refining the vomit of these goals. But in the meantime, as far as the guitar playing is concerned, I'm just maintaining speed and dexterity and strength overall with, good old spider chromatics. And that is the only time you will ever hear me use the words good ol' and spider in the same sentence. I'm terrified of spiders. I'm terrified of them. So I don't know if you can see this, but I started the chromatic exercise at 100 BPM quarter notes at the most comfortable position, position 5, and then I work my way up to position 15, then I go down to position 1, or the open position. And then I do string skipping, because I'm also kind of interested in learning more string skipping, melodies and things like that. Now, I only do the string skipping chromatics for one position's worth. I only go from the 5th position to the 6th position. I don't really have anything to use it for, so I'm not really gonna explore it that much yet. And I can always look up exercises, so it's, once again, just a placeholder exercise that keeps my fingers, nice and in shape and ready. So in the beginning, I was only doing the chromatic exercises at 100 BPM for the quarter notes and maybe like 80 BPM 16th notes for the chromatic string skipping. But recently, I decided to test and see, just how far I could push the BPM limit, before I start to make some serious fumbles. Turns out I can handle 130 BPM 8th notes. So now I do the chromatic exercises at that. So I do 130 BPM chromatic straight 8th notes, and then I do 130 BPM chromatic string skipping for 8th notes as well. So my entire guitar warm-up routine lasts for 20 minutes, and doing these chromatic exercises does not take that long. So once I'm done with the 2 exercises, I just go find a backing track or, some instrumental or something, and I start jamming. And, I just approach it with the sense of freedom. I'm not trying to specifically do anything, or maybe sometimes I am trying to do something in particular. Maybe I'm just trying to, work on using harmony within melody. I'm just trying to play things with thirds and sixths. And, maybe I'm just working on bends a lot. Maybe I'm just trying to, play vocal lines on guitar. Whatever it is, I'm jamming. So after I'm done with the warm-up, I usually jump right into working on band material. So right now we're working on retracking some guitar lines. So in order to nail these parts, I'm just kind of drilling them by chunking them up into pieces. And just going over one part for 5 minutes, and then I go over the next part for another 5 minutes or 10 minutes, and then I do what I call a cumulative run. So this whole process involves just chunking the first part of whatever you're working on and just drilling that, and then you chunk the next part and you just drill that, and then after you're done, you just combine the chunks and you just drill the whole thing. I work on those parts, and I'd say overall it takes me about maybe 45 minutes, an hour, around that time, depending on what I'm working on at the time. So it might be a difficult section that has a reverse bend thing. So I might need to just spend a whole 10-15 minutes just drilling reverse bends. Initially, when I started this routine for rehearsing the band material, I started off with bigger chunks of just me sitting here and just drilling the same thing over and over. And I realized that after doing maybe 3 sections of that back to back, I would start to lose focus while, kind of in the thick of it. So I've recently reduced the chunk time to maybe 10-15 minutes a piece. And I've found that definitely helps me stay focused. And so, you should always be aware of how effectively you're using your time. Because if you sit down and you just use your time to just blindly do a thing without focusing, then you possibly didn't get as much gain from it as if you just spent half of that time very focused. You know what I mean? Did that make sense? I think that made sense. So I don't really have anything going on as far as the better songwriter goal as of right now, because I'm focusing on, rehearsing the band songs, and that in a way is a part of the writing thing. But as of right now, I'm not writing anything, so I still don't really count it. Once this song is done, being tracked, then we'll be moving on to the next song, and we'll start taking a look at writing, fresh parts for it, because a lot of the songs on the album are only skeletal ideas. They haven't fully been fleshed out yet. So that goal will be tackled a little more heavily later on. All right, lick goal number 1. This is the pentatonic lick thing that I was talking about that I could not get. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Now obviously it's already been 2 weeks and I've kind of already gotten it, but I haven't fully gotten it. I found that I can play this lick best at 60 BPM. Now it's kind of on the slower side, but you gotta start with the place where you play things well and work your way up. I have the most control at 60 BPM, so 60 BPM is where I'm at. So what I do to practice this lick is I just play it in a chromatic sequence similar to the good old spider exercises. So I start at the 5th position, and then I work my way up to the 15th, and then I work my way down to the 1st, and sometimes open. So I dedicate only like 10 minutes every practice session to getting this lick down, and after I finish the chromatic sequence, there's usually maybe like a minute, maybe like, a minute and a half or something like that left over. And I might use that to either do more of the sequence again, or I might just open up a backing track real quick and just jam using that lick on that, but obviously at a slower tempo. So while I use this placeholder routine, I want to Google things like, the best guitar player routine, or, the best songwriters, or, just Googling like the number 1 people who are either like number 1 because of their renown, or just number 1 to me. Like, people that I think that are really good, like, the Contortionist or something like that. And I want to look them up, and then I want to start to put together a practice routine. So that is already underway, and what I came across when I Googled guitar routines or best guitar routine or something like that was a video done by Music Is Win. And, it just has like a basic guitar routine template that I'm probably gonna steal from. So, thanks, Tyler. So that is my current placeholder practice routine until I further refine my goal vomit and specify what exactly I want to do. And then once I specify what I want to do, then I'll specify what it takes to do that thing, and then that will become my new practice routine, basically. So what's going on with you? Have you worked out a practice routine? Did you get any ideas from this video? Did you watch it and think, man, you suck, and I could do this way better than you? Let me know in the comments section down below after you've liked and subscribed. I'm out.